Hey, what's up, everybody? Jim Nelson here for Adult Swim Central here at Otakon 2013, and I am here with the world-famous Kyle Hebert, the man, the myth, the goatee.
Oh my gosh, that's an excellent lead-in. I'm thinking I'm going to put that on my website or my business card. The man, the myth, the goatee. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have some questions for you here, if we don't mind.
That's good because I have answers.
Excellent, because you cannot have questions without answers. Well, you can, but it doesn't really work that way.
That's called rhetorical.
Yeah.
Where you got to think about it afterwards.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Kyle was one of our first guests on the Toonami Faithful podcast, so a big thanks to Kyle for helping us reach legitimacy in those early days. I wasn't part of the show then, but I am now, and
awesome.
It's really, really cool to see the guys that help make us who we are.
Well, I got a soft spot for podcasting. I had one for many years, and I came from radio, and podcasting is the evolution of radio. So, hey, we were talking before we ran camera about, the evolution, how cool it is to see podcasting really take off.
Mm-hmm. It's really awesome, and look at us. So, after all these years, this is your first time at Otakon, and what does it mean to you to finally get invited to a convention as ginormous as this?
Man, it is, it's literally one of those, I could check that off the bucket list. Because for years, Otakon is legendary, man. It's, I go to the West Coast version, Anime Expo. Not that they're sister cons, but I mean, that's the closest thing in terms of size. And I'm there every year because I live in Los Angeles, right? But and I've traveled the world. I've gone to cons of all sizes, but this one's always eluded me. But luckily, my involvement with the upcoming game, Crisis Heart Brawlers, which I've never heard of a con having its own video game. But I'm lucky enough to be on the upcoming recording for the cast on the game, and it's like, oh, there's my in. Bring me out, guys. Come on. Oh, it's a special year on top of being legendary just to begin with. So, yeah, I'm super psyched.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Got to play Crisis Heart Brawlers last night. A lot of fun.
Oh, great.
Everything I love about beat-em-ups, because Streets of Rage 2 remains one of my favorite games on Sega.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to a fighting game that maybe I can win. Because I button mash, I'm lucky enough to be cast as Ryu in Street Fighter, but I'm terrible at Street Fighter. I button mash. Doesn't solve anything. Marvel vs. Capcom, you can get a little leeway. You have a 50-50 shot if you button mash, but you need strategy, as Bugs Bunny would say, for the Street Fighter series and Soul Calibur and such. And I love those games, but man, do I suck at them.
Tell me about it. So, actually, speaking of video games, you were actually able to do your Ryu cameo in Wreck-It Ralph. But what was that like to know that you made the theatrical cut? Because I thought it was huge when I saw it. It's like, Kyle's gonna be so pleased.
Yeah, talk about a childhood dream come true. Man, it's like, I want to be in a Disney movie. What? Because and the coolest loophole ever, right? Because the animated films now, of course, VO's soapbox. It's like the celebrities come in and they get all the big roles, and the people who've been doing it for years, this is their craft, they get relegated to bit parts, right? But, it's still cool to be involved in something of that caliber, right? So it's like, my loophole was the fact that they did a movie about video games, and they wanted to actually reach out and get, some cameos. And it's like, I happen to be the voice of Ryu. What? Pfft, mind blown. It was like maybe 3 or 4 weeks before recording when I watched that first teaser trailer. You see, the AA meeting for villains, and there's all the Street Fighter people, and like, man, I really hope that'd be. I'm just daydreaming. It's like, I know the bad guys from Street Fighter in here, but what if the good guys got to be in it? And then my agent calls and says, Disney wants you for Wreck-It Ralph. I'm like, yes, wow. I'm just like exploding. I couldn't believe it. Because for me, it's not about like, oh, millions of dollars. It's not millions of dollars, but it's a chance to, oh my God, I get to be in a Disney movie? Really? For 10 seconds, but 10 seconds more than most people can say.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, that's so cool. And getting to record with Rich Moore, the director, who comes from a TV background. He animated, The Critic, or directed on The Critic and The Simpsons and Futurama, and this is his first feature film. I show up at Disney Studios just like a deer in the headlights, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, it's such an honor to meet you. We got the voice of Ryu here," and I'm like, "That's my line. I'm the one that's supposed to be geeking out here. I'm in Disney," and we re-recorded the cameo multiple times. It went through like multiple drafts, and I gave him a Hadouken several times just to have. They call me back 2 weeks later, and they go, "Our animators actually did a Shoryuken." So it's like, he made a quick joke. It's like, "You're just going to make bank here doing session after session because we keep rewriting this." And I go, "I'm okay with that. Just keep rewriting it." Yeah, so unreal. I saw it in the theater, and the fans and my friends and family were so supportive. They all went to the theater and cheered when they saw my name in the credits, and truly touching, man. I mean, I got to see it with Steve Bloom. We were at NebraskaCon together.
Oh, nice.
When Wreck-It Ralph debuted in theaters, so we go on opening night, and the whole row was just clapping and like, oh, so man, you can't put it into words how awesome it feels to be a part of that.
Excellent. And actually, speaking of the the dreams of voice acting and being in Disney movies, who were your inspirations, to be a voice actor? Like, was there anybody out there that said, you know what, I want to be like this guy?
Man, the seed was planted with Mel Blanc. Looney Tunes, man. There's never been an equal. But growing up and seeing cartoons through the decades, because I'm old, not really, 44, but I, watching things through the years like Animaniacs, Rob Paulson, Maurice LaMarche, Pinky and the Brain, Batman, Andrea Romano, the legendary animation director, and doing all that stuff. And like, oh man, I just dreamt of getting to work alongside. Now, I've met a lot of these people. I haven't necessarily gotten to work with them yet, but baby steps. I've only been doing this for 13 years. I consider Dragon Ball Z back in 2000 the beginning of it. So here we are 13 years later, and I've gotten to do a lot. Like I said, Wreck-It Ralph, and tons of video games and everything, and tons of anime, obviously. But my real love, my passion is getting to record with the cast in the room, which is the process for cartoon recording, for domestic animation. And I've done a little of that. I'm on NFL Rush Zone for Nickelodeon, and I did 2 episodes of the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That's the older show, not the newer one.
Yeah.
Keep trying out for the newer one, but we'll see what happens.
You'll get it. So you actually started out in Dallas with the Funimation crew back in the olden days, PI, pre-internet, I guess we could say.
Pretty much. This internet was a newfangled thing. I mean, there were message boards full of hate and scorn, like, Funimation's terrible and evil. They keep editing everything. And like, guys, come on.
So, how long has it been since you moved to Los Angeles?
Man, I moved in late 2005. I was instantly dead broke. I was depressed. It's like doubting myself, like everyone does. You're like, I'm going to just leave everything behind and go west. That doesn't always work out for everybody, at least not right away. So I have a super supportive family, so I borrowed lots of money to get by and pay rent, went into massive debt. I was one of those idiots who just charges my rent on my credit card. I'll pay it off later. Like, oh God. I never filed for bankruptcy. Well, I might as well. I'm in so much debt. So my lesson to people is, if you're going to go anywhere and move and do a change of lifestyle, change of scenery, change of jobs, save money. Save at least $5-10 grand. The more money you can save, the more money you can float on when you get out there and try and find your legs, right? Because the world of acting, there's no such thing as, I'll just transfer. Not in the traditional sense. There's, you go out there and it's like starting over. I felt like I still kind of do feel like the baby in the industry. Just trying to network and make little inroads, and I've made them through years. So now, in year 8 of being in Los Angeles, I'm saying, I'm super proud. I don't have to worry about rent. I'm making a living doing what I love, and that's the goal. I think it should be the goal for anybody in life.
So, is there anybody currently that inspires you? Like, I've noticed that you said that Steve Bloom was a humongous help to you when you were starting.
Huge.
Was there anybody else out there that really inspires you and is like, yeah, that's what keeps me going every day?
Well, I'll tell you, years before I came out to LA, I was a DJ for Radio Disney, and I had befriended several veteran voice coaches who were also voice talent in their own right. Bob Bergen, Porky Pig, and Pat Fraley, who was Krang from the old Ninja Turtles. He came out and taught all the DJs improv classes and building character workshops, and both of them really kind of lit a torch under me and said, you need to move to LA. You really got what it takes. And they really were like the next level. It's like, Mel Blanc, you're just watching cartoons, but now I'm interacting with these people who are legendary. They worked on Hanna-Barbera and Warner Brothers and stuff. They've met Mel Blanc and Dawes Butler and all these legends that aren't with us anymore. And I'm like, oh, this is incredible.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for us here from Otakon. It went by so fast, but I'd like to thank Kyle Hebert for an excellent interview. He is quite the funny man. And never forget the goatee, ladies and gentlemen. Never. See you later.